Welcome to Awakening You channel. If you appreciate what we do, please support us. Thank you. Hi all, today, the angels challenge us to change old habits and start noticing what is fun and fine. Instead of criticizing ourselves, they remind us to acknowledge everything we do well. Shifting habits isn't always easy, but as my story shows, it pays off in so many ways. Have a blessed and beautiful week, smiley face, and message from the angels. My dear friends, we love you so very much. There will always be those on your planet who are connected to the greater purpose, which is really very simple. You come to love. You came to explore contrast and design new ways to bring love into your lives, your hearts, and the world. You came to be receivers, broadcasters, and creators of love. Whether you bake a cake, admire a leaf or grass, or luxuriate in the comfort of a cozy chair, you are flowing love into this world. Judge not by the scale of it, dear ones, but rather by its authenticity. What can you find to appreciate about this moment? What can you find to appreciate about yourself? You can easily find things to criticize. Most of you witnessed others finding fault quite a bit during your formative years. It is a human habit for many to notice faults and flaws. What if, however, you were to work on the habit of finding what is fine and fun? What if you were to pour the milk and tell yourself, I poured that milk brilliantly into my glass. I love the beautiful, clean color. I love the taste of it. I love knowing it is making my bones strong and healthy. This idea sounds silly to many of you, but consider that if you dropped the glass, most of you would easily find fault with yourself. Dear ones, you can start to look for what is fun and fine instead of looking for faults and flaws. You can train yourselves to look for things you are doing right, no matter how small. It is so easy for many of you to sigh at the slightest hint of a wrinkle, but how often do you admire something such as a patch of clear skin? Think about how easy it is to judge a tiny so-called flaw. Why does it seem ridiculous, then, to admire or acknowledge something equally small? It is easy to call yourself stupid when you make a mistake, but how much more powerful it is to acknowledge the thousands of good decisions you make each day. It is easy to get frustrated over a struck drawer, but it is far kinder to your spirit to appreciate the ones that glide open smoothly. It is easy to get worked up over the one person who cut you off in traffic, but you'll feel much better when you take the time to notice the hundreds of courteous drivers. It is easy to get upset over a technical challenge that puts a kink in your day, but more powerful to give thanks for the millions of technologies that support you daily. We are not here to make you wrong, shame you, or inspire guilt, but rather to point out that it is only conditioning that keeps you from your natural loving state of being. Watch any young child. They are proud of the smallest things. Look, mommy. Check out my belly button. Look at my new drawing. I want to sing for you. They dance and prance in front of the mirror, admiring the body they're in. They feel happy about their tiniest accomplishment. They delight in the smallest detail that, to most, would go unnoticed. They live in a natural state of wonder and appreciation. While there are certainly horrendous things on your earth that you can do little about in the 3D sense, there are numerous ways in which you can flow and ripple love out into your world as energy. These ripples, dear ones, join with the ripples of billions of others. They eventually turn into waves of love that may even, someday, reach the hardened hearts of those who don't believe in good, don't believe in God, and don't believe in anything other than their own ability to manipulate and bully. They are sad souls, dear friends. Turn away from their antics and instead turn to admire the handle of the drawer you just opened, the pen you just used, and the fact that you have a hand that works. If you were to practice looking for what is fine and fun every day, in the smallest of ways, you would cultivate such a habit of positivity that your problems in life would begin to melt away, not because you tried to solve them but because your vibration has risen above them. Your world needs your love, your joy, and your focus on all that is good. There are always the lost who will try to steal your attention, but ultimately, dear ones, you get to decide who and what is worthy of that precious gift. God bless you. We love you so very much. The Angel's message from Anne. Hi everyone, I remember a comedian years ago who had me in stitches. He joked about how crazy it is that we get impatient with the time it takes to send an email or a text, given the fact that the computer in our phone would have taken up a whole room just 50 years ago. We forget that the signal is sent into outer space, bounces off satellites, gets received by cell towers, and finds your receiver's phone before it shows up in the inbox or messages. Suddenly, he said, 30 seconds seems like a miracle. He was funny, but his point made me think about how easy it is to whine about things that don't go how we wish when so much in life works amazingly well. Several years ago, I decided it was time for new habits. I started religiously looking for the good. Photography helped. I walk through the woods, camera in hand, looking for what is interesting and beautiful. A patch of lichens is a work of art. A tree growing to accommodate the canyon winds is a fascinating sculpture. Dewdrops on leaves are mesmerizing universes of reflection. There is so much good. There are so many good people, too. Whereas I used to get upset about bad drivers, now I pray for them and notice all the nice people who let me merge into a lane. I used to be upset about the few people I hired who didn't do their jobs. Now, I try to focus on the incredible people who are great at what they do, and of course, that focus attracts more of them. Just last week, I had someone come out and help with the computer. He took 10 minutes to do his job, and because I had to pay for an hour, he started looking for other things to fix. He resolved computer issues I'd had for years. The habit of looking for the good came in very handy last weekend. I was about to leave for a beautiful fall hike when I got a strong feeling that I should be cautious on the road. I took a few extra minutes and sat with the angels before getting in the car. I looked for all the good, raised my vibe, and ensured I was in peace before I even backed out of my driveway. Sure enough, I nearly got hit on the freeway but swerved and recovered without incident. The car didn't tip, all was well, and I finished singing along with the song on the radio. In the past, such an event would have unnerved me so much that it would have ruined my day, not to mention my hike. 10 minutes later, it was like it never happened. The day was beautiful. The air was crisp. No harm. The present moment was delicious. The hike was beyond beautiful. I was thrilled to be in nature again after putting up with an injury all summer. It dawned on me in mid-September that I needed to focus on being healed. Weeks later, I was up to my thighs in the crystal clear creek. I was in heaven. The ravens I've known for over a decade called me to their secret spot. I proceeded to share my annual stash of cashews, which they grab like chipmunks, fill up their beaks, and fly off to deposit them in the nest. Sitting 2 feet away from these magnificent birds, looking into each other's eyes with love and admiration, the present moment was pure perfection. A few minutes later, happily ungrounded, again, I slipped on the wet rocks in the creek and banged up the other foot pretty badly. Back 4 miles in the woods with no reception, there was only one good option. Focus on the good and hike out. So I did. I focused on the icy water that felt amazing. I focused on the beautiful trees and the sky overhead. When I got to a more well-traveled section of the trail, I focused on the kind people, the happy dogs, and the laughter echoing through the forest. I focused on how grateful I was to have healed the other foot and how amazing the breeze felt on my skin. I made it to the car without thinking about the pain and drove home with the same mindset. The next day, my foot looked like a football, but I decided I was not going to settle for whining and moaning about an injury. I was going to focus on it being healed. I gazed online with Braco, the miracle healer, www.braco-tv.me. I slathered the foot with arnica by day and castor oil by night. Most importantly, I decided to do as the angels suggest, and acknowledged every little good thing I noticed or did all day. Wow, I cooked a great breakfast. Good job, Anne. You got up and didn't trip. I love my clients. I can't hike, so I'll make t-shirts. On it went, and you guessed it, by the end of the day, I was walking on both feet, albeit slowly, without pain. 2 days later, the swelling is 75% gone, and I barely think about having an injury. It is healing in record time. Noticing what is fine and fun is both helpful and healing. Here are a few pointers to help you cultivate the habit of constantly noticing what is fine and fun, which will put you in a vibration to allow all manner of help, healing, and solutions. 1. Keep a book of positive thoughts. I started this years ago and still have such a book. Every night, I record a magic moment, a happy thought, a good quote, or a happy memory from the day. It might be an encounter with something or someone I appreciate. It might be the smallest thing that went right. The book is like a charged battery that stores positive energy. All I have to do is open it up or hold it to feel all that love and appreciation. One good thought at a time, even if only one a day, you can start to shift the balance of your energy. 2. Keep a complaint and a compliment jar. When we complain, we throw our energy away. When we compliment life, ourselves, another, or simply spend time in appreciation, we open to receive more energy from the source. There's nothing like using real coins or cash to drive this point home. Get 2 jars, one for complaints and one for compliments. Get a stash of coins or cash. When you are complaining or finding fault with yourself, life, or others, toss a coin or a bill in the complaint jar. When you are complimenting life, through appreciation or positive thoughts, words, or deeds, put some coins or bills in the compliments jar. When the complaint jar fills up, donate it to some worthy organization to transform that negative energy. When your compliment jar fills up, spend the money on something you enjoy. This might sound like a silly little exercise, but sometimes, we need to have a visual representation of our energy to see where it is going. 3. Challenge yourself to look for all you do right. We're so hard on ourselves. The angels are right. Self-criticism is easy. Acknowledging all we do right takes practice. Try for just a day to notice everything you do right. I tied those shoes perfectly. I remembered where my keys were. I was kind to the person at the bank. These things seem so insignificant in terms of achievements, yet it is so easy to be merciless with ourselves if we trip over a badly tied shoelace, lose the keys, or forget kindness. Why not flip over to the lighter side and gloss over what we do wrong while focusing more on what we do right? These things seem small compared to wars, weather, fighting, and famine, and in the 3D sense, they are. Nonetheless, the more we fill our energetic cup up by finding things to feel good about, looking for what we, and others, are doing right, and shifting our focus to the light, the more we give love back to life itself, and right now the earth can use more positive ripples in the human pond. Think of several things you've already done well today. You got out of bed. You had some good coffee. You took time to read this and connect with beautiful souls all over the world who are doing the same. Good job. Love is a vibration. Whether we get there by focusing on things big or small is irrelevant. It ripples outward, nonetheless attracting good into your life and sharing good with the world. Have a blessed week. Love, Anne.